I need to change my background to match this weather. It is not a nice summer evening. There, that's more appropriate.
The other background looked believably cold, but not as cold as it is outside, probably.
It we're below freezing still. Haven't gotten above it. Nothing's melting. I've been making friends in the neighborhood, or at least everybody seems to magically like me. And I'm not sure if it's because I'm going out there with a pickaxe and just going to town on all the ice blocks out there that are just blocking everybody's cars in, or if they see the neighbor with the pickaxe and they're afraid that I'm the axe murderer in the neighborhood and they just want to be super nice to me.
Yeah, it's
Could be
probably the
both.
latter. It could be both, but it's probably the latter. Hey, here's fellow axe murderer Jeff Carter.
I have not murdered anything with an axe recently.
I
I've
like
thought
that
about it, but I
clarification.
have not done it.
We're just talking about pickaxes, so it's
Mm,
not quite the same, but
I don't have
it
quite as many of those.
it
But
was funny that we're talking about pickaxes right as you joined, given I know your affinity for axes.
I, you know, I don't, I, I don't really like to discriminate there. I'm an equal opportunity axist.
I will say, when you have a chunk of ice out there and you need to get rid of it, um, those little ice shovels, snow shovels, just don't do it. You need something more serious.
It's
Flamethrower.
it's true. You just got to be careful not to, start putting holes in your asphalt or concrete or whatever is underneath it.
I mean, fortunately, that's not directly my asphalt and concrete. But half the time I don't even make it all the way down to that level. Stuff is it's not going anywhere. So let's see. Getting a decent assembly of folks here today. Pull this up. Pull up a couple of other windows so I can keep track of what's going on around here. Mostly the chat, because folks tend to put fun stuff in the chat, and I don't want to miss that. And so, yeah, we've got a couple things that could use some review. Um, Derek, a few of these you could probably look at when you get a chance. We've got the cancel endpoint out there, which is the upload cancel endpoint. It got dropped from the spec, hopefully accidentally, and so I just put it back. And whatever you're trying to tell me, GitHub, I'm not interested right now. So this one was just saying if you send a delete request to whatever your upload URL is, the registry can release those resources at that point, and then kind of clarify in there that, hey, it's kind of a nice to do thing. You should do it. If it fails, you should ignore that. And the server, if you don't do it on the client side, the server should eventually do it itself. So that was one. I know the other one, sitting out here for distribution spec, has got Derek not as happy, or sorry, Jeff not as happy, which is that we added the 416 status code to the blob put request on a chunked upload. We've already got that for the patches, but you can have a range issue if you do it on the put request as well. If you have data in the put request. So those two are sitting out there just raising a little bit of awareness on them. And let's see. Otherwise, something anybody can do. Because I really don't care. I can hit merge right now, but I just love to have people double check and look at my work here. Got the me minutes sitting out there in our .github repo. PR is ready to go. And we need that because when you look at the HackMD, it's giving me a big warning saying, hey, you're hitting your limit. So before we hit our limit, we archive a bunch of stuff, throw it over here, and that way we've always got it. And a question I have for the group, I left it over here, is a question in the pull request itself. Would you guys like to change this instead of being some kind of fiscal year to just switch into the calendar year? And Tinon gives one thumbs up to that. So I feel like that would make things easier. I don't know why we're going with some kind of fiscal April to March. I'm assuming it's because that was when it started and we just wanted to make it a 1 year long thing. But at this point, I don't think people are too picky about where it is. I see a second in the comments for calendar. Tinon, what you got?
I'm guessing that it was just because that's when the numbers got too big and it just happens to line up roughly the same every year.
I mean, if that was the case, then these months would be getting shorter because we're doing less than a year now.
Uh,
But I just followed along with what was there before. So who knows? It could have been. But yeah, once we get this merged, if someone just looks it over, gives a thumbs up, I'll hit merge on it. Not a big deal. I'll make a second PR after that to reshuffle all those to make a calendar year. All right, that's administrative. Let's see here. Said, anything further on this one we want to chat about this week?
Uh, so there's a few comments I've added them to the PR. I've put the language as must, but added an implementation note saying if registries don't respond with the header, assume it's SHA-256. And I've removed the word canonical from the spec. I don't feel there is a need for that wording. You can just put digest and it sort of nicely puts you in for like adding the 512 support.
And so the one we were discussing before was here it was saying the canonical digest is, and then in parentheses, SHA-256. So we just changed it to just say SHA-256.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
simpler.
I have no objection to that, but leave the floor open for other folks to have any thoughts there. I mean, I feel like I'm the one that's supposed to be quiet after a week of going after the ice with a pickaxe, but all right. Sounds like crickets all around the room here. Overall, it looks good to me. I'll give it an extra review just to make sure.
Yeah, I can add reasonably.
We're in implementer note.
yeah. So
I'm
nothing
not
is safe.
I'm not picky on language in implementer note, so
Yeah.
if you prefer that, that's fine with me. All right.
Do we say anywhere it's algo to it? We only say digest. I don't think we have algo colon digest.
I bet that that format is defined in the image spec somewhere.
The digest format.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, can you help me understand why So the implementer note talks about Docker Content Digest, and you can assume the digest is SHA-256 if it's not there. But that is the digest, right? It's not just the algorithm. It's like if it's not there, then there is no digest.
So if the header isn't there, and this is specifically if you're querying a manifest by tag, because otherwise you know the
Right.
digest at that point.
Yeah, yeah.
But if the header isn't there, then we're saying you can assume it's SHA-256. And all of this is because folks are asking, how do we handle a case where we're trying to set up a refer to some content on a registry, or we need anything else that we want to pin a digest to something that's on a registry, and we don't know the digest algorithm that the registry is using.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
And so all these cases we just changed shoulds to must so that we're being very clear going forward. Newer versions of the spec, you must include this header so we know what the registry is doing. And in the one case where it might not be there because you're talking to an old registry, you just assume that it's 256. All right. Yeah. And here's the other PR. This is linked in the minutes if anybody's curious, but we're going back to the old discussion here of saying, hey, we got all this stuff. What can we do? And one of the thoughts was we could just commit to actually using the header because originally we said that the headers are optional and clients should not depend on them. And we're saying, no, depend on it.
Are there any
That was,
registries today that don't send that header?
we went looking. It went back a while where I think Quay was one of them, but they have not been doing it lately. They fixed that probably 5 years ago. So I can't keep track, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's somebody. Are you worried about things that break when that happens?
No, I don't know if I've encountered that. I think we put in a specific case in Containerd for the case when it's not provided, but because it's a little bit of it's an extra step, at least on the Containerd side when that digest is not there, since we have like a specific um resolve step, which we use the headers for. And if it's not given, then you have to like re-request it. It's like a get, compute the hash, and then assume that later. But that would be, I guess, a potentially a problem here. If like,
I think we're saying you're
well,
doing it right. If you're assuming to compute the
yeah,
digest on your side, you're going to assume that it's SHA-256.
yeah. I guess there wouldn't be any old registry that doesn't send the header and sends SHA-512. I guess that's the point, right?
That's where we're going with this. We're saying
Yeah,
if you're going to change your registry to a new digest algorithm, you're in a new registry territory here.
yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Um, Saeed, the one thing I'm going to say is assume the digest algorithm used is SHA-256. So just add, I can put that in here real quick. And then Tianan, you wanted to have this rephrased over here. Let me get the right word. And reasonably. So I'll put those two in there.
Yeah, I'm
And I'll,
not picky about the word, but safely felt like a dangerous word to use. There's nothing safe about writing an OCI implementation.
Yeah, nothing to see.
I mean, as long as you don't use any of the go unsafe calls, you're right. You're perfect, aren't you?
Yeah, if it compiles, it's good. If it runs, it's perfect, right?
Exactly. All right. I don't usually use the comment thing. Did I actually get that published or is it waiting on me to hit a button on that one? Or did you already accept it?
I see it. Show it.
Okay. Usually I
Although
do
it
a
says
start a
already
review.
outdated.
So it's just that quick.
Yeah, I did change it while you were doing that.
All right. So you got the other one in there as well, that algorithm.
Hold on. No, not yet. One sec.
Yeah. Instead of just saying digest, say digest algorithm. because the digest isn't SHA-256. There's more characters after that.
Right. Right, done.
Awesome. Thanks. I'll give it a look after this and give it my thumbs up in a little bit. That was all I put on the agenda. Other stuff here, we're still waiting on someone from LF to chime in and let us know. And Phil, myself, Cypher, we're all wondering what happened. I sent an email over to operations as well earlier this week. Haven't heard back.
Was there a vote?
As best we know, there was not.
No,
Yeah,
there
I
was not a vote.
I don't think any of the member companies got ballots.
Was there any nominations?
There were nominations. I know that.
We don't
Well, at
know
least
if there
I
were
know
enough
that my company
nominations.
submitted a nomination, but I don't know if anyone else did.
Yeah, we don't know if there were 5 nominations.
So if there wasn't, then isn't it just default? There is no vote anyways?
If there are 5 nominations, that would be done, no vote. Those people just all get elected by default. If they're less than 5, I think we're in a territory we don't know what's going on. Maybe someone else does. I don't know what's going on at that point. If they're more than 5 and we didn't vote, then yeah, we need to hold a vote. But right now, we don't know. And same for this one. I kind of captured this. We had the comment sitting over in another GitHub issue when we made some changes. We started adding like contributors to the open containers distribution specification as one of the copyright owners. And that's not what we had in other places where we were using Linux Foundation or OCI contributors. So I just put this up there. It's sitting on the TOB repo. Figured that was the best place to put it. But I'm really looking for LF to respond, not the TOB itself. So ping Chris, ping Jory. Hopefully we'll get a response over there on that one as well. That is what I've got. Do we have other things folks want to chat about today? Oh, y'all are a quiet bunch. Am I the only one that's frozen in though? I feel like nobody else is frozen in right now.
I was for a few days, not currently.
You were? Okay. So I get a little bit of sympathy from the peanut gallery. Not a lot. All right. So in that case, since no one else is frozen in, I'll give you back the rest of your day. You can go do fun OCI stuff, and we'll check back here next week. I might ping Chris since I haven't heard much back from Jory lately and see what's going on over there. See if we can get some responses on what's happening on the LF side. And with that, we'll call it a wrap. Have a great one.
Yeah.